Hello viewers, my name is Tyler Marchand, and today I'm going to be talking about my picks for the best hit songs of 1975. This video is out a day early because I got a safety recall for my vehicle and I need to bring it in for service, which during these times isn't very convenient, and I need to set aside time for that. Anyways, this year was a lot better than I expected it to be. Today, I'm going to be talking about 16 songs. As usual, the songs that just missed a cutoff for me for this year included One of These Nights, Jive Talkin', Lady Marmalade, Boogie On Reggae Woman, I'm Not in Love, You're No Good, Get Down Tonight, Some Kind of Wonderful, Bungle in the Jungle, and Someone Save My Life Tonight. By the way, since I am recording this on the same day as when I wrote the script, we'll be back to the regular format. I truly apologize for the change in formats for last year. In the madness, I realized that I didn't share my regretted omission from 1977. That goes to Southern Nights, and 1976's regretted omission is Evil Woman. Now the 6 honorable mentions. Who would have thought that a band from the Bay Area would make a track that I think would go perfectly with the film adaptation of Mark Twain's Huckleberry Finn? Because I get that vibe in the lyrics about life on the Mississippi River, and when accompanied with instrumentation that harkens back to what I think of the antebellum South, this song is a major win for me. Wow, isn't Average White Band such a misleading act name? They certainly aren't average, I'll say that. First off, this track is mostly instrumental. That segment right there is pretty much about the extent of the lyrics in this track. Both the song lacks and lyrics more than makes up for with groovy instrumentation. I don't know if I'll ever get enough of that combination of funk guitar and phenomenal saxophone instrumentation. Check this song out if you aren't familiar with it. I am flat out amazed that this song was ranked as the second biggest hit for the entire year. That is insane. But then again, I have to remind myself that country music was a lot more likely to become huge back in the 70s, and Glen Campbell's signature track is truly a classic. He's a wannabe that is longing for the chance to get his big break. That's what the Rhinestone Cowboy is because he never went to cowboy school, and he's fantasizing about how people will love him when he makes it to the spotlight. Great stuff. Man, is this an interesting entry. Here's a little backstory. Bachman Turner Overdrive is a side product of the Guess Who, including their lead vocalist Randy Bachman. Older generations will know of the Bachman name thanks to American Woman. Younger generations, those about my age, will know the Bachman name through She's So High from Randy's son Tal Bachman, which was a hit in '99. Anyways, this song was written as a joke towards Bachman's brother, who just so happened to be his manager. He suffered from a stuttering condition, and this song was included in their album as filler after it was felt that the project was incomplete. I liked the song quite a bit before learning about the story, but I just kind of adore it even more now. It's just something about making fun of a brother like family members usually do, and they're having fun with it, and they got a hit out of it. So yeah, I like it. This isn't something that I've heard much of before, an R&B slash rock hybrid. Aside from the fact that I'm not sure why Rufus is getting top billing in this track, when Chaka Khan clearly owns the song through the lyrical department. In fact, I only think I hear him doing the occasional ad-lib throughout this track. Even with that, this track is flat out awesome. Chaka Khan just kills it in the vocals department. No, wrong one. There, I just kind of gave away a bit of what the next entry was gonna be. My apologies, but yeah, I was trying to do the clip for the fantastic guitar work that I think is actually done by Ray Parker Jr. And so now, you've probably already heard this. Continuing on in the spirit of R&B tracks that are flat out awesome. The backstory to this track is quite intriguing. When the song was first pitched to Barry White, it was a country western called You're My First, My Last, My In-Between. The fact that he was able to turn it into an R&B classic is flat out amazing. Of course, it also helps that Barry White has one of the smoothest voices ever to grace the R&B world, so we're left with a flat out amazing song that I'm shocked didn't make my top 10 proper. Okay, and with that, my 6 honorable mentions are done with. What songs made my best list, you're probably wondering? Now we'll find out, starting off with number 10. And I think I just heard sirens going on. Did you? I'm sorry, but that was the best that I could come up with for this introduction. Corny joke aside, this is considered to be the signature song from the Ohio Players, even though it is at the exact same placement as Love Roller Coaster, which was an honorable mention from my 1976 video. But apparently this song was a #1 hit, and was predicted to be by Stevie Wonder himself, and well, it certainly deserved it. Aside from that groovy R&B instrumentation, you got the guitar breakdown that just sets the roof on fire. Okay. Alright. I'll try and stop with the cheesy jokes, but seriously, this track is awesome. Number 9. It's really telling when a song that is almost as old as both my parents can be used, has implications in today's world. It cannot be a coincidence that I'm listening through this. It cannot be a coincidence that I'm listening through the year that this song was a hit, as major events are threatening to tear this country apart. And this is a question that really should be asked. The song title. The song is more than 50% chorus, and since that chorus is just repeating one single phrase, it should be a recipe for monotony and boredom. However, it isn't, because at the end of the day, why can't we be friends, especially in today's time, should not get monotonous. Just as the country's continuing to move along with the long overdue reopening, where I live in Nevada, the casinos, essentially the backbone of Nevada's entire economy, have just started reopening. Just as we start opening up, we witness a horrible abuse of trust from the police. What pisses me off regarding the whole situation, perhaps just as much as that Minneapolis policeman's actions, is the fact that the vandalism being done afterwards is considered a justifiable response. And I think that it's even worse for me because I have yet to hear of anyone, public or private, who thinks that George Floyd's killer was in the right. So, the vandalism is completely unjustified. Seriously, stop with the fucking looting. Right. Sorry about that. I just have so much pent-up anger regarding this scenario, but I don't want this video to turn into me ranting and raving. So, let's move on. I'm kind of amazed that this is the first time I'm putting a David Bowie song on one of my best lists, but he's been considered for it in the past. I've mentioned before that Under Pressure would have topped my list for 1982 if it were a hit, and Let's Dance from 1983 was this close to making the cut. Then again, 83 was such a phenomenal year that it was just, even just falling short means that you're still a long ways away. Now is when we get to the legend, and here it is with a rock track that even features Beatle John Legend in the background vocals. He also contributed to the song via acoustic guitars. Lyrically, the song is Bowie ranting and raving about the cost of fame, but the song really shines in the instrumentation. Bowie's rhythm guitar contributions really helped to cement this song as a rock classic. And of course, this is yet another song that I was introduced to through Guitar Hero. Great stuff. Number 7. Part of why I wasn't sure about this year after listening through 1976 was because I didn't really recognize most of the songs on this list. Now, in a way, the fact that I say this year is better than expected, that's going to tell you that as a result, there are quite a few other hits in this top 10 that I've had no exposure to prior to now, or at the very minimum, very little exposure. Here is the most successful of those songs in terms of chart placement. This is about the point in Elton John's career when he was at his absolute peak. Now, he would, don't misinterpret what I'm saying, he would continue to create classics throughout the following 2 decades. But I say that this is his absolute peak. This is when the bulk of his absolute signature tracks became smash hits. And add in that even one of his later hits, Candle in the Wind, was originally recorded in this era. Anyways, despite obviously being a Brit, Elton John apparently said he really loved the soul sound of Philadelphia-based 70s music, and this shows in this track that would fit in very nicely with the 4th of July soundtrack. What a legend. Number 6. Now we get to a song that I was familiar with prior to listening through this year. Alright, as someone who grew up listening to mostly rock music, you probably expected me to put this song on the list, and well, I'm glad not to disappoint. However, I can't really say that Bad Company were amongst my favorites from the genre. Even then, this song is still fantastic. Lyrics aren't much deeper than wanting someone to love, but it more than makes up for it with the rock instrumentation that really starts to kick in towards the end with those mini guitar solos that are thrown in. Great stuff. Number 5. This, ladies and gentlemen, is when a legendary group was born. Earth, Wind & Fire's first major hit, and a song that really brings me back to my childhood. Back in the early 2000s, there were 2 live-action Scooby-Doo movies that I remembered watching and loving as a kid. Nowadays, neither one is really looked back fondly upon, with the exception of Matthew Lillard's portrayal of Shaggy in both those movies, which would later land him a gig as the voice actor for Shaggy in future cartoons. Anyways, a cover of this song was featured in the 2004 sequel during the ending credits by recent American Idol winner Ruben Studdard. He got off way easier than Kelly Clarkson did after Idol. But back to the song. Very uplifting lyrics are accented beautifully with the funk R&B instrumentation. Accented with that with a little guitar solo even featured in there. This is when a legendary run of iconic and classic songs began for the group, and what a deserved run they had. Number 4. Oh, but we're not yet done with Earth, Wind, and Fire. I was pretty much faced with the same problem that Sean Fay Wolf of Diamond Axe Studios faced when talking about the best songs of 1978-5. How would I separate these two songs? Choosing which one to place above the other, because, again, I do not do ties, came down to the flipping of a coin, and this is the song that wound up winning out. Even though it clocks in at nearly 6 minutes, it never gets boring. I will always be a fan of the group's gospel qualities that are central to the group. That and the guys will always be R&B legends that I hope live on forever. Gorgeous stuff right here. Number 3. Now we're at the part of the list where I will have been exposed to the remaining songs before having listened through this year. And I'm going to be starting out with perhaps the strangest of the 3. I feel the easiest place to start with this track is in the lyrics, so here we go. The story in the lyrics is inspired by a 1973 incident where the Scottish band was driven from the stage by a rowdy crowd. Explaining the song after that is where things become interesting. The vocal delivery for the song is very wacky. Starting out with that roll call at the beginning, it's just automatically lets you know what you're in for. And then you get that little pre-chorus sung by the bassist, with the vocal execution being something that potentially even rivals that of Linda Perry from Four Non-Blinds and What's Up. You probably know what I'm referring to. But thanks to that rollicking guitar instrumentation that matches the rowdy atmosphere you get in the lyrics, everything winds up coming together perfectly. And I don't really care how wacky everything sounds. It is still awesome. Number 2. Those who are really familiar with what was big in 1975 had to have known that this would soon be coming down the turnpike. This was the only hit from Jamaica's Carl Douglas, and needless to say, it is fantastic. The truly amazing thing about this song is that it was originally recorded as only a B-side, and done in only 10 minutes. If that's not a sign of someone not thinking that the song is gonna be a hit, I don't know what is. However, this song would become immensely popular throughout dance clubs, and it becomes a smash hit that everyone knows of today. Iconic chorus aside, the song really shines through with the instrumentation that really does make me think of ancient China, with the whistling and the flutes adding that perfect touch. One could make a very strong case for this being the best hit song of 1975, but it just narrowly lost out, in my view. Number 1. Unfortunately, this is going to be the last time that a song from this iconic group will be featured in one of my videos. However, that is simply because this was their first hit. And what an impression they made with their first hit in America. Yep, for the fourth time across 6 years that they've been on Billboard, yes, Queen winds up topping the list. And to be honest, prior to listening through this year, I very rarely sought this particular song out from the group. Oh, that was a mistake on my part. Lyrically, the song is Freddie Mercury calling a high-class woman a whore. He doesn't use that word explicitly, but that is what is implied. Like Bohemian Rhapsody, this track is very diverse musically. I mean, it doesn't have the exact same diversity as Bohemian Rhapsody does. It's only half as long. But I'll just say what it does have. It's got tempos changing very frequently, and the E-flat major key lends itself to a very unique chord arrangement for the rock guitars. Add in the special effects that are used through the special layering effects that are used, multi-tracking that is used throughout this song. And at the end of the day, I just find myself admiring this track for how unorthodox it is. Killer Queen is my pick for the best hit song in 1975. Well, that was my list. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, share it with others so that I can continue to grow my channel. Subscribe to my channel to get notifications of new material, or just notifications in general. And as always, leave your agreements, disagreements, or general thoughts down below. As always, I just ask that any comments stay civilized. Alright, my next video will be on my picks for the best hit songs of 1974, and I anticipate having that video out on Sunday, June 21st. Stay tuned. Until then, I'm Tyler Marchand, and I'll see you later. Take care and stay safe.